All right, today we're going to tackle one of the most essential skills in Canadian legal writing, how to correctly cite a statute. I know, it sounds complicated, but I promise we're going to break it down.
Have you ever looked at a legal document and seen those strings of letters and numbers and just thought, what on earth is that? It might look like some kind of secret code, right? Well, it's actually a very precise language, and it has a very clear purpose.
And that purpose really boils down to two big things. First, it gives your work credibility. It shows you've done your homework and you're backing up your arguments with real legal authority. And second, it acts like a map, so anyone reading your work can find the exact source you're talking about. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with why this precision is so important. Then we'll look at the main tool you'll be using. After that, we'll take a citation apart to see how it works, build one together, and finally, we'll learn how to get super specific with our references. So, let's kick things off with the why. Why is it so critical to get this right when you're dealing with the law? To put it bluntly, a correct citation shows you know what you're doing. It's a sign of a sharp, careful legal mind. It proves you have an attention to detail and respect for the law you're building your case on. It's really the first step in being persuasive. So, if precision is the goal, how do we actually get there? Well, the good news is, in Canada, we're not just guessing. There is one definitive rulebook that everybody follows. And that rulebook is the Canadian Guide to Uniform Legal Citation. But you're almost always going to hear people just call it the McGill Guide. It's the absolute gold standard used by courts, law schools, you name it, all across the country. It makes sure we're all speaking the same citation language. Okay, now for the main event. Think of a statute citation like a recipe. Every single ingredient has its own special place and a very specific purpose. Let's break it down. And here it is. This is the blueprint for citing statutes, all laid out for us. You can see the different parts: title, the volume, jurisdiction, year, chapter, and that little optional piece at the end. Let's look at what each one actually means. So you see, it's really just 5 key pieces of information, and they always follow this specific order. You start with the title, then the volume, jurisdiction, year, and you'll wrap it up with the chapter number. Now, let's pause here because this is a really important little detail, RS versus S. Think of it like this. Every year, new laws get passed, right? Those are collected in what are called sessional volumes. That's the S. But you can imagine that gets pretty messy over time. So every once in a while, the government basically does a big cleanup. They gather up all the current laws, get rid of the old ones, and publish a new official consolidated set. That is a revised statute, or RS. So when you're citing, you're telling your reader which version you're looking at, the original one from a specific year or the updated one from the big collection. Okay, enough theory. The absolute best way to learn this stuff is to just do it. So let's build a real citation right now from the ground up. We're going to use this fantastic example from the University of Alberta Libraries. As you can see, we have all the little pieces we need right here. Now all we have to do is put them together in the right order. All right, step 1, we always start with the official short title of the act. And don't forget, the McGill Guide says the title always goes in italics. Next up, we're going to combine the statute volume and the jurisdiction. So for this one, it's from a sessional volume from Alberta, which gets abbreviated down to SA. After that, we just pop in the year that the volume was published. For our example here, that's 2008. Simple enough. And finally, the last piece of the main puzzle, the chapter number. This is its unique ID inside that year's volume, and you always put a lowercase c right in front of it. And voila! You put all those pieces together, and you get this, a clean, complete, perfectly standardized citation. Any lawyer or judge in Canada would look at that and know exactly what you're talking about. But what if your whole argument isn't about the entire act? What if it hinges on just one specific sentence or one rule inside it? Well, that is where our final little ingredient, the pinpoint, comes in. This slide shows the difference perfectly. The citation on the left, the one we just built, points to the whole act. It's like telling someone a book is somewhere in the library. But by adding a comma and a pinpoint, like S2 for Section 2, you are guiding your reader to the exact spot. It's like telling them to go to a specific page in a specific book. So much more helpful. So to wrap it all up, it just comes down to this simple logical formula. You start with the title, add the statute volume and jurisdiction. Then comes the year and the chapter number. And if you need to be super specific, you add a pinpoint at the end.
If you follow these steps, you are going to nail it every single time.
See? It's not about memorizing weird rules. It's about learning a language of precision and power. And now, you've got a key tool to speak that language effectively.